Benjamin Franklin Knight was born on August 10th, 57 years ago. His mom had been soundly defeated by life. Addicted to a variety of narcotics, she wanted more than anything else to provide Benny with a wonderful childhood, to give him the ability to dream. Something she had never had. That is why she gave him the most revered, respectable name she could think of. Benny's mom died of an overdose 2 weeks after he was born. With no idea who his father was and no family that wanted to be found, Benny was placed into the system. Somehow, not only did he survive, but he actually thrived in this set of circumstances. It soon became obvious that Benny was developmentally challenged. His smile, however, refused to abandon him. Medical staff present in the delivery room said that, when Benny was born, he didn't cry. Instead, he giggled. Now, sometimes stories get exaggerated over the years, but those in attendance at the maternity ward will steadfastly tell you that when other children would cry, Benny would laugh, and that the sound of his laughter would immediately soothe the distressed kids. Tanya Buckner, now 22 years old, had been working for the county agency that provides care for disabled individuals since she got out of high school. As she headed into work this particular morning, the day shift working at Benny's state-run house, she had no idea that this day would be different than any of the others over the past 4 years she had worked with him. It would indeed, however, be different. In a world full of bureaucratic nonsense and endless miles of red tape, it was nothing short of a miracle that the state still had Benny's home in operation. The house had been scheduled for demolition 7 years prior. Benny was the only remaining resident of the group home and had lived there for over 35 years. Begging and pleading from Benny's advocate to the state representatives had actually convinced them to keep the home in good repair and put off its demolition until Benny was no longer in need of the house. It was all he knew as home, and for one very rare instance, the human element won out over bureaucracy. Tanya pulled her old Nissan into the driveway of Benny's home and went inside for her 7 a.m. shift. She said goodbye to Rachel, who was the overnight staff, and went about preparing Benny's breakfast. It wasn't a Herculean task, as it was Friday, and Fridays were Pop-Tart Day. Blueberry. Warmed in the toaster, but the edges not crispy. Benny was a man of routine and discipline. He would be coming down the stairs from his bedroom at exactly 7:15. Today was no exception. Pajama-clad Benny bounded into the kitchen right on cue. He had long since given up on the hair on his head and had been shaving his dome bald for over a decade. His scraggly facial hairs were now largely silver, but his ever-present smile had not diminished one iota. "Pop-Tarts!" Benny exclaimed as he hit the kitchen. "Yes," Tanya replied, matching his enthusiasm. "But," she began, a more somber tone clearly taking over her voice, "we're out of blueberry, so I had to heat you up some strawberry ones." Benny stopped dead in his tracks. His world had been thrown into upheaval. "No," he said softly. "Strawberry is for sissies." Tanya couldn't keep up the ruse. His crestfallen expression hurt her heart. "I'm just teasing you, you big goof. Of course we have blueberry." A huge weight fell off of Benny's wide shoulders. "Whew!" he exclaimed as he popped into a chair at the kitchen table. "That was pretty mean, Tanya," he observed. "I think you might be a witch." "A witch?" an amused Tanya asked. "Isn't that a little extreme?" As Benny began devouring Pop-Tarts, he explained, "Well, I would have said something else, but I'm not allowed to say the B word." "Benny!" Tanya scolded as she laughed. "Well," Benny explained, "don't be a B word and I won't use the B word." Is that right? She asked as she moved towards Benny's plate. I guess a real B word would then take the Pop-Tarts back. Panicked and contrite, Benny covered his plate with his arms and became very apologetic. No, I'm sorry, you're not a B word. I'm very, very sorry. All right then, Tanya said, vindicated. She laughed, patted Benny's bald head, which he loved, and went about getting ready for the day. A little while later, Tanya was sitting on the couch as Benny came down from upstairs once again, all cleaned up and ready for his day. He hurried over and plopped down on the old lounge chair next to the couch. Tanya pointed the remote to the TV and asked, "What'll it be today, Benny? SpongeBob or game shows?" "SpongeBob today, please," Benny responded. "I can't watch game shows today." "SpongeBob it is," Tanya said as she clicked that channel on. "But why can't you watch game shows today?" she asked. "Well, because sometimes they don't finish the game they're on, and you have to wait until the next show to see them finish," he explained. "Well, that's okay," Tanya explained. "I'll be with you on Monday, and we could watch the end of the game then." "I can't, though," Benny continued, "because today is my last day." Tanya was stunned and taken aback for a moment. What Benny had said sounded ominous, but she was sure that it was just something that Benny wasn't explaining well or had missing details or something. "What do you mean by last day?" she asked. "You know, last day," Benny replied, his voice as strong and happy as ever, but giving little extra in the way of details. Tanya was getting a little concerned. "Benny, you're making me a little nervous. I don't know what you mean by last day. Please explain it to me." "Don't be nervous, Tanya," Benny reassured her. "It's okay. Everybody has a last day someday."